And hello again, my government friends. How are we? How was our weekend? So a bit has changed, of course, since we've last spoke. I know a lot of you got the news that we will not be going back this academic year, which I know some of you guys, especially as seniors, might be upset about. But please remember that we women are here for you. If you ever want to email us just to talk or anything, please never ever hesitate. And Mr. Murphy, and the admin at Whitman and the community, they're going to make, I'm sure, something very special for you. Even if it's all virtual, it's still going to be just as nice. So, yeah. Besides that, we do have to soldier on with grades and assignments. You do, just a reminder, need this class to graduate. So let's make sure we get everything handed in. I know I've been speaking to some of you at home. Please make sure just to finish all of this up. If you ever have any questions or problems with the work, just let me know. Shoot me an email. I'm always here. All right, so with all of that taken care of, today we are going to talk about our political parties, specifically the two main ones that seem to be prevalent in our society. Before we jump too deep into it, here is everything that should have been done already. That Know Your Government project is worth a test grade. You did have the opportunity for extra credit. You actually had a different opportunity for extra credit last week. I'm not going to say any more on that. If you can find it, make sure you complete it so you can get some more points. You have the 3 Google Forms, which was a political parties matching activity, party system strengths and weaknesses, and political parties, like the surveys or the quizzes, that analysis, which was great. And you'll have one more today. We'll have another lesson on Thursday, and then I believe the Tuesday after, you will have a quiz, like an actual quiz on political parties. So we are slowly but surely getting through everything, which is awesome. Okie dokie. So what we're talking about today, now this is something I would really stress, of course, if I was in the classroom with you, but the same concept still applies. When we learn about the Democratic or the Republican Party, remember, everything here is a generalization. Of course, there are going to be exceptions and people are going to believe different things. This is all very vague and very general. Not everyone who identifies as either a liberal or a conservative agrees with every single aspect of the typical platform, right? And we always have to remember to be respectful. There is a reason why you never discuss politics at the dinner table. It is a hot topic in terms of tempers may fly. So always be respectful when you're discussing it, when you're reading about it, when you're analyzing it. Even though, it can sometimes get emotional, it's always good to be logical and respectful. Everyone knows the song, right? Okay. All right, so if you look at your notes, the first page is basically just a reading. So I'm going to read through this. If you don't want to hear my voice, you skip forward a few seconds. But this is called Donkeys to the Left and Elephants to the Right. So, the two major political parties in the United States are the Democrats and the Republicans. When you turn 18, which some of you already are, and get ready to vote, you will listen to many candidates from both sides, and also some from smaller parties. But what makes someone a Republican or a Democrat? What is the difference? And how will you decide which party best fits the way you think? It's important to remember that these platforms are written to be broad on purpose, and that people who identify strongly with one party may still disagree with the party platform on other issues. And then we're going to see our quick comparison. So again, this isn't like black and white. It's not like it's, the law. It's all different. Okay, here is your chart. So you can see on the left, which I'm sure was purposeful, is the Democratic Party, and on the right is the Republican Party. So if you look at the Democratic Party, it says that it's concerned with equality, cooperation, and social progress. Supporters of this party are more likely to be concerned with civil rights issues, stronger government regulation in business, and social support networks for those in need of assistance. Democrats are more likely to believe that the federal government has a responsibility to be involved solving problems. While if we go on the right-hand side, we see that the Republican Party wants the government to spend less money and have less of a say in business and society. Most Republicans believe people and businesses should have the liberty to do what they want without much government interference. This party also tends to believe the government should protect traditional social values. So, if you look on both sides, they take certain issues and they compare it from party to party. So the first one that is the same is healthcare, right? So Democrats stand on healthcare. They think the government should help make healthcare available to people who can't afford it, while Republicans think that the government should not pay for people's healthcare. Education, just to skip. On the left, it says the government should support teachers and public school funds to make existing public schools better. On the right, schools must have high standards and students should be able to use public education funds to attend private schools if those schools are better than public. So a way you can really kind of generalize it is always going to be with government involvement. Typically, if the government is more involved, you're going to fall more to the left or the Democratic Party side of politics. Where if the government is less involved and there's less government, you're going to go towards the right. So here is the political spectrum, and here's an example. So we can see the center, it's considered moderate. The more right you go, the more conservative you become, or the more left you go, the more liberal you become. So, for example, if we're picking healthy choice for kids, a nice middle stance would be that the government should encourage schools to offer healthy alternatives for school lunches, but ultimately you let the kids and parents make the final decision. So the government is involved, but still the people have their own right to choose what to eat in schools. Now, if we go to the left, which means we're going to have more government involvement, we see that the answer to this issue is the government should require that only healthy food options be given to kids at school. That's it. No choice, nothing. If we go towards the right, we're going to see less government involvement. And basically it says the government should just leave it up to families to teach kids about food and just, leave school lunches alone, that they shouldn't be there. It's none of their business. So that's an example. So if you look on the next page, here is a bigger example of this spectrum. And it has all the way on the left, most government control. You start losing, so you have some government control, and then the least amount of government control. Now, what we're going to do is you're going to fill out those two bullet points right here for each of them. I'm going to give you examples. So we're going to start with the most government control first. So if you look here, it's basically saying that the government should take strong action to solve society's problem. If there's a prevalent issue or a problem, the government should be on it right away and they should solely take care of it. It's the government's job to take care of it. Now, if we start moving to the right, they're going to have, for some government control, either that there will be government-run programs for people. So instead of the federal government coming in and just taking complete control, they'll allow some of their budget to go toward a government-run program to help the people, to help this issue. Continue to go right, and now the government's not really doing anything but actively encouraging people and businesses to solve this problem by themselves. So it's not like they're doing it, they're not funding anything, they're not taking over, they're just encouraging people to figure out this issue for themselves. And then finally, all the way on the right, government doesn't get involved at all. It's none of their business what's happening in society. They're not going to solve society's problems. So pause for a second here if you want to just make sure you have all that written down. And now we're actually going to do the next issue the opposite way. So we're going to start here with the least government control. So government should leave people and businesses alone to do what they want to do. You're going to find that all the way on the right. The more we move left, our next one is going to say that, the government should offer tax breaks to people and businesses who do good things or stop doing harmful or unfair things. So again, it's not like the government is mandating anyone to do anything, but they're offering an incentive, or they're actually encouraging people to do what they would like by offering like tax breaks. The further left we go, we're now going to see that the government may pass laws to keep people and businesses from doing harmful or unfair things. And then the furthest left is that the government should be constantly and consistently regulating people and businesses to promote the common good on all issues. That they have their hands everywhere and they're basically regulating at all times. So you can see whether you go from right to left or left to right, how the issue changes depending on what perspective you're coming from. Okay, I'm at 10 minutes, 20 seconds. I don't want to take up all your time. So what you're going to do next is you are going to click this link or the link on my eBoard or my Google Classroom, and you're going to fill out this Google form. So you're going to write your name. Nailed it. And you're going to say, basically, you're going to see the differences between the right and the left. And you're going to do this by looking at the super extreme viewpoints. So again, these are like the really, really extreme points of view. Most people, as we know, most people do fall here in the center or moderate area. Very, very few are all the way on these outskirts. But it's easy to learn the differences when you're looking at those extremes. So, for example, after you write your name, you're going to look at each of these scenarios, and you're going to tell me if it's an extreme right or an extreme left scenario. So, let's do the first one together, and that way you get an easy free point. So the first one says that the government should not pay for any schools and that all schools should be private. All right, you maybe took a guess. The answer would be extreme right. Okay, it's no government involvement at all. They're not even, in the picture, no encouragement, nothing. That will be your extreme right. Now, I will tell you that, most Republicans obviously don't believe that. Again, that's like an extreme example. Just like most liberals don't believe that, the government should be planning every single lesson that every single teacher does, right? Again, it's just super extreme. And that's it, my friends. You're just going to answer those 6 questions, submit it, and we're done. And then I'm going to talk to you again on Thursday when we talk about our third parties. So it's not just these two. There's some other parties that we could talk about. Some really fun ones, too. All right, guys. I hope all is well. Please email me if you need anything. I miss you. I hope all is well. I know a lot of you are starting to go back to work. I keep getting all these emails about that. Please, I'm begging you, stay safe. It's so important, all right? Be very cautious of your hands, wear masks, wear gloves, all of that, all right? All right, guys. See you later. Bye.